I was the notary who stamped the document that buried him. That single page, ink barely dry, would cost my closest friend everything he thought he'd built. But the bank's records told a different story, and I was the one who made the call that day. I had known Marcus for 11 years. We met in college, two broke students sharing ramen and bad jokes. He was charming, loud, and generous, or so I believed. After graduation, we stayed close, talking weekly, showing up for each other through job losses and heartbreaks alike. I became a certified notary while working at a mid-size loan processing firm. My job was simple: verify identities, witness signatures, stamp documents. Details mattered in my world. A misplaced initial could unravel an entire loan agreement. Marcus knew exactly what I did for a living. He'd always seemed proud of me for it. In the spring of 3 years ago, I started getting strange calls. A bank representative left voicemails asking about repayment schedules. My name was listed as co-signer on a $47,000 personal loan. I had never heard of this loan in my life. You wouldn't believe what my stomach felt like reading that letter. Cold, heavy, like swallowing gravel. The account had been opened 8 months earlier. Payments had already been missed. 4 consecutive months. My credit score had quietly been bleeding out while I went about my normal life. I called the bank immediately. They were polite but firm. My signature was on file. The co-signer agreement was notarized, time-stamped, legally binding on its face. My name, my address, my social security number. Everything looked authentic. Everything except one small problem. I hadn't signed it. I requested a copy of the original document that same afternoon. When it arrived, my hands were shaking. The signature was close enough to fool a quick glance, but I'd spent years studying signatures professionally. That wasn't mine. I cross-referenced the notary stamp. The seal number didn't match any registered notary in our county. Whoever forged this had printed a fake seal. A good one, but still fake. Suddenly, I wasn't just a victim. I was the professional who could prove it. I pulled phone records next. 8 months ago, Marcus had called me 3 times in 1 week, unusually persistent. I'd been traveling for work and barely responded. Now I understood why he needed me distracted. Could my best friend of 11 years have truly done this to me? I brought everything to the bank's fraud department: the document, the mismatched seal, my professional analysis, and my phone records showing I was in another state entirely when the signature was supposedly witnessed. Their internal investigators pulled surveillance footage from the branch that day. Marcus was on camera, alone, signing both names at the counter. The bank froze the account within 48 hours. They filed a fraud report with the county prosecutor. I submitted my full notary certification records confirming the seal was counterfeit. The paper trail was airtight, every piece building on the last. Marcus was contacted by investigators the following Tuesday. By Thursday, he'd retained a lawyer. By the end of that month, formal charges were filed: fraud, identity theft, and forgery. The loan was removed from my credit entirely. My score recovered fully within 6 months. He pleaded guilty 8 months later. He received 3 years of probation, mandatory restitution, and a permanent fraud conviction on his record. His name now surfaces in background checks, the kind that end job interviews before they begin. I never called him. I never needed to. The document said everything I couldn't bring myself to say. Some betrayals don't require confrontation. They require patience and paperwork. The truth has a way of surfacing when you stop trying to force it and simply let the record speak. Trust carefully and document everything. If this story hit close to home, you're not alone. Drop a comment below and tell me yours. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe to Karma Served Cold, new stories every week.